What up, hodlers? This is BlocKade, aka Cade Crypto, aka Professor Hodl, and today I'm going to be doing a recap on Bitcoin Miami. And today we'll be trying to do a recap on day one, and I'll do a following video and article on day two. So I'll try and be brief, but I'll try and give you some of the brief highlights that I really enjoyed and some of the things I found interesting. So if you weren't there, maybe you'll find this helpful. All right, so I saw Charlie Shrem there, and he had some interesting things to say. He was hot on EOS, and I definitely am too. So you best believe that I'm hodling it. And it's cold. January up here. I'm in the Northeast, so it's cold as hell up here. So I figured I'd go down to Bitcoin Miami and warm up, and have a little fun, a little freedom, have a few drinks. And it's also kind of a crypto winter right now, right? So I think last year there was about 4,000 people. This year there's about 1,500. But Brock Pierce said that in a bear market, the best things get built. And I definitely agree with him. So I'm definitely psyched about the future, and I'm definitely psyched about 2019. Briefly, I think Digital Planets was trying to do something with blockchain and video games. I don't know a ton about the project, but if you can combine those two things together, I think they'll be successful. I have to look a little bit more into that. I thought NetKey had an interesting presentation. They were talking about doing KYC and AML compliance, doing like accredited investor validation, and they can validate an identity in 60 seconds, like just done live on a camera on an app on your Samsung phone, your iPhone, whatever. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I think that was it. Oh yeah, I took some notes here like a crypto nerd. Um, oh, it was also not totally related to crypto completely, but Jeffrey Tucker, one of my personal heroes, he gave a really great speech, really interesting. A lot of the stuff I personally knew already about like how FDR stole the gold, but I thought it was a really interesting and good speech. And he did mention something that really stuck out to me. I think he said something like, um, you cannot have a free society with a central point of failure. And I totally agree. And I think in this case, he was talking about the financial system. So when it comes to crypto and freedom, I think he's spot on right there. And not only is he an intellectual powerhouse and a great writer, but he is an amazing dancer too. Like I saw him on the dance floor at the opening party, and he's on the dance floor, guys. Don't step to him. He can move. Trust me, guys. And now I'm going to talk about three more projects in length. And the projects I want to talk a little bit more in length about are going to be Elixxir, Salt, and Anchor. So the first one is Elixxir. So it's it was started by David Chom, and as you may or may not know, he's kind of an OG in the crypto space. A lot of people have credited him. I would say the majority with inventing digital cash. So Elixxir is kind of like, I think he described as like a blockchain based WeChat. So as far as what that would mean, he wants it to be fast, 10-second messaging and payments from initiation to completion. He talked about speed and privacy, scalability, security. A lot of projects talk about that, but I think he definitely has the potential to deliver in this case. Um, and he's going to have multiple nodes that are going to work as a team per block in order to provide privacy. Um, I think the payment and messaging AlphaNet is already up and running. The beta net is scheduled to launch, I think, quarter two or quarter three of 2019. And the way uh, the way the nodes work together, it's by a decentralized randomized algorithm. So this creates increased privacy and network integrity. So I thought that was really interesting. Some they're doing different things to deal with speed and security and transparency. I thought this was a unique way of doing that, and I also wrote down that all the public transaction, public key operations are pre-computed. Only the hash functions are used in real time per transaction. So I thought that was really interesting, and I actually even personally applied myself to run a node in the beta testnet. So we'll see if I get accepted or not. I'm hodling for that chance. We'll see. And the next one I want to talk about is Salt. And I was familiar with Salt before as well, and I read their white paper and followed them a little bit on social media. But I think this speech just kind of re-energized my interest in Salt. Um, I thought, I think Caleb Slade, I think he gave the speech, and they've really progressed a lot. I think they've done at least 50 million in cash loans using several different coins. He talked about how Bitcoin's an ideal form of collateral and they're blockchain based loans, no credit check, no income verification, no origination fees, very customizable. They have unique keys, they're legit, they have cyber and criminal insurance. There's no fractional reserve banking, which I think is huge. I definitely don't like fractional reserve banking, so I think that's great. I think they're kind of spread all over. I think they're in Denver, the Philippines, Mauritius. So they're all over, and maybe you already know all that stuff, but maybe you don't know that they have technology solutions for blockchain businesses, like wallet management, lending technology. And they have this new thing called Meerkat where you can like monitor digital assets. I think it's meerkat.watch. So it seems like pretty simple. You type in your address. I think I can track Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe Litecoin, Dogecoin, maybe 4 or 5 cryptos. You type in your public address. Don't type in your private address. And you type it. You give them your email, and they'll let you know anytime funds are transferred from that address. So I thought that was really cool, and it's free. So I thought that was nice of them to give back a little bit to the community. And he talked about just a little bit more in general about individual freedom and personal sovereignty. So sovereignty. Sorry, I've been drinking a little bit too much beer today. So I think this is the kind of company that also has the right values. I think they're working and operating in many different countries here in the U.S. I think they're in 45 states as of now, except they're not in my home state of Minnesota, which is a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, I don't need the funds right now, but maybe in the future I'll do it like a Salt, I don't know, home loan or Salt Lambo loan, who knows? But yeah, I thought they were really cool. So if you haven't checked out Salt in a while, you should go back and check out their Meerkat thing. And if you've never checked out Salt, definitely check them out. And the last one is Anchor. And I almost didn't even watch this speech because, there have been so many different stable coins or, Tether, True USD, this and that. I mean, there's a million of them right now. So I almost didn't even watch the speech, but I'm really glad I did because Anchor's pitching itself as a new kind of stablecoin. Other stablecoins are pegged to fiat currencies, could be the US dollar, to gold, real estate, a basket of other cryptos. But it seems pretty interesting. Probably the most interesting thing is they have this new way of measuring what the token's going to be pegged to, but it's not pegged to the dollar, it's not pegged to gold, it's not pegged to CryptoKitties. So what is it pegged to? It's pegged to something called an MMU, which means monetary measurement unit. And this is basically going to, I don't know, measure like the GDP of the world, like the 190 biggest countries. And they've got some sort of proprietary mathematical algorithm. So this is supposed to be a really, really stable currency and also not not inflationary, but actually maybe slightly deflationary. So I thought that was pretty awesome. it invests in sovereign debt, which is one of the safest investments against, sort of any sort of global economic issues or any sort of economic disasters or, global conflicts. Sovereign debt usually gets 3 to 4% interest, and they have a board of 21 validators. They want to have that trust, that decentralization, and they've got this interesting two token system where they have like the anchor token and the doc token, and they kind of work in tandem. So the anchor token, I believe, is the one that you can spend, and the docking token is where they store excess funds to try and keep the anchor token stable. So they can use the docking tokens to prop up the price of the anchor token, or if it gets too high, they can bring it down, whether it's like flooding the anchor, I don't know, I guess the pool of anchor tokens, you can expand it or you can contract it by burning them and putting them in the dock. So I read the white paper, and I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was really well written, one of the best ones I've ever read, because I probably read over 100 white papers, and it was very clear. I thought it was well written. I thought it was one of the most transparent. I checked out their team. They seem like they have a legit team. Um, and yeah, I think it's a really promising project. Um, I guess a few things. Um, how the anchor coin matches the MMU using their proprietary algorithm that wasn't totally explained, but I guess maybe that's proprietary, that they can't share that, which I guess I can understand. And they said they had some sort of stability fee, but they didn't really say what it was. Um, but they also said, in the speech at least, they said some interesting things. They said, Anchor is not just a stabilization project, it's an integration project. And I think the speaker said, crypto doesn't survive without integration. I think that means with larger institutions, with the banking system. And not sure actually if I agree with that, at least long term, but I think maybe in the short term, I think, what, they're probably right. So I think the Anchor project is really interesting. It did seem like they were trying to raise quite a bit of money, but they were pretty transparent on where the money was going. I don't know if they're trying to raise that money in stages or if that amount was the initial fundraising amount, but it looks like maybe for the long term they want to raise quite a bit of money. But yeah, I thought I haven't been excited about a stable coin in a long time. Actually, I've never been excited about a stable coin, so I think except for the ones where you could get them in and off the exchange just as a function of the trading. But this one actually makes quite a bit of sense. So I wish them well, and I hope their project is successful. So I guess that's it for Bitcoin Miami day one. So I think it's time to say goodbye. But before we say goodbye, we gotta figure out what we're gonna hodl for. So as you guys know, I like to hodl for yellow Lambos and cherry red Ferraris, but there's a couple new up and coming supercars that look quite promising themselves. So we're gonna mix it up today. So until next time, I want all of you guys to hodl for the Mercedes AMG Project Ones and the Aston Martin Valkyries. Until next time, hodlers, peace.